Hi, I'm Ashley, an almost 40-year-old mom who loves DIYs and home renovations. And for the next 15 days, we are transforming our garage into another living space for a big family of 6. Yesterday, we removed the garage door and covered the big empty space with a tarp that just so happened to be a McChicken, but that's a story for another time. Today is day 2, and we are pouring concrete footing for something pretty big that's getting installed tomorrow. Let me explain how we did it. This was our first time doing this type of DIY, so we called in some reinforcement. The man who can do everything, my stepdad. He straight away gave us a list of supplies to buy at our local hardware store while he brought over his concrete mixer to make things a little easier. We used 2x4s and 4x6s to create a form for the concrete to be poured in. We screwed them together to match the height of the already there footing that was around the rest of the garage. We also used 2 lengths of rebar and placed those down the middle of the form to reinforce the concrete as it dries. Obviously, we continued to make sure that the whole thing was leveled before pouring the concrete into the form. And this is what that looked like. Then it was time to start mixing the concrete using his mixer. We started by adding half of the concrete mix with water until it was the consistency we needed, and from there it was time to pour it into the form. When pouring the concrete, we needed to make sure that it filled the form completely. We also wanted to make sure that it completely covered the rebar and matched the height we were looking for. I used a hand trowel to smooth out the concrete, making sure there were no imperfections or bubbles on the surface, while always checking to make sure that it stayed level. Then it was time to say goodbye to our sweet help and watch the concrete dry. I'm not joking when I said I checked on this every 10 minutes to make sure the whole thing wasn't crumbling. Because next up is one of the biggest parts of our project, so check back tomorrow. Bye!